Welcome to the Atlas Files.
There are mysteries that science cannot touch, not because the evidence is gone, but because the question never stops asking itself. Tonight we open the file.
Every civilization leaves behind stories, but every so often, one story refuses to disappear. For more than 2,000 years, explorers, kings, philosophers, archaeologists, and treasure hunters have searched for a civilization that supposedly vanished beneath the sea in a single day and night. Some believe it was the greatest empire the world has ever known. Others insist it never existed at all. Yet despite centuries of searching, Atlantis continues to appear in books, documentaries, satellite images, and expedition plans across the globe. Was Atlantis a real civilization? A warning disguised as history? Or the greatest fictional story ever mistaken for fact? Tonight, the Atlas Files, Case File 003. Everything we know about Atlantis begins with one man. The Greek philosopher Plato. Around 360 BC, Plato wrote two dialogues known as Timaeus and Critias. Within those writings, he described a powerful island nation beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar. According to Plato, Atlantis was enormous, rich beyond imagination, protected by concentric rings of land and water, filled with magnificent temples covered in precious metals. Its people mastered engineering, agriculture, architecture, and naval warfare centuries beyond their rivals. But as Atlantis grew wealthier, it also became arrogant. Corruption replaced virtue. Greed replaced wisdom. And according to Plato, the gods decided its fate. In one catastrophic day and night, earthquakes and floods swallowed Atlantis beneath the sea. The island disappeared forever. At least, that's the story. Here's where the mystery begins. Plato never claimed he invented Atlantis. Instead, he said the story came from Solon, an Athenian lawmaker, who supposedly learned it from Egyptian priests almost 300 years earlier. If true, the account would already have been ancient history before Plato ever wrote it down. But many historians believe Plato wasn't documenting history at all. They argue Atlantis was simply an allegory, a fictional nation designed to teach lessons about pride, power, and the collapse of civilizations. The problem is, Plato included astonishing levels of geographic detail, specific distances, military sizes, engineering descriptions, architectural layouts, even exact measurements of canals and harbors. That's an unusual amount of detail for a story some believe was never meant to be real. Over the centuries, thousands of locations have been proposed as Atlantis. The Mediterranean Sea, the Caribbean, the Azores, even beneath the Sahara Desert. Each discovery seems promising until evidence falls apart. One of the strongest candidates emerged after archaeologists uncovered the ancient Minoan civilization on Crete. Around 1600 BC, the nearby volcanic island of Thera erupted in one of history's most violent explosions. Entire cities disappeared beneath ash. Massive tsunamis devastated coastlines. Some researchers believe this disaster inspired Plato's story centuries later. But dates don't perfectly match. Neither do the locations. The mystery remains. Today, the search no longer relies on sailing ships and handwritten charts. Satellites scan Earth's surface. Deep-sea sonar maps the ocean floor. Autonomous underwater robots explore regions no human has ever seen. Every year, strange geometric formations appear online. Perfect circles, straight walls, massive underwater terraces. Social media quickly declares Atlantis has been found. Then scientists investigate. Most become natural rock formations, ancient lava flows, or imaging errors created by sonar. Yet every false alarm raises a fascinating question. If Atlantis truly existed, would we even recognize it? Or would we dismiss it as just another strange shape beneath the ocean? Perhaps we've been asking the wrong question. What if Atlantis wasn't a single city? What if Plato combined several real catastrophes? The eruption of Thera, flood legends from Egypt, ancient memories passed through generations, and transformed them into one unforgettable story. Human history is filled with civilizations erased by earthquakes, floods, volcanoes, even rising seas after the last ice age. Perhaps Atlantis became the symbol for every city humanity lost. Whether Atlantis existed exactly as Plato described almost doesn't matter. Its influence is everywhere. Books, movies, video games, scientific expeditions. Countless discoveries have been inspired by one question. Could an advanced civilization have vanished without leaving obvious traces? History has surprised us before. Troy was once considered mythology, until archaeologists uncovered its ruins. The ancient city of Göbekli Tepe rewrote the timeline of civilization. Entire kingdoms continue emerging from jungle canopies using laser mapping technology. Perhaps the greatest discovery still waits beneath the sea. Atlantis may never be found. Or perhaps someone already sailed over it without realizing what lay beneath. History often hides its greatest secrets in plain sight. The ocean still covers more than 70% of our planet. Much of it remains unexplored, and somewhere beneath those waves, the next great discovery may already be waiting. Until then, the file remains open. This is Atlas Files. For more than 2,000 years, in a single day and night of misfortune, shook. The sea rose. The greatest civilization on Earth disappeared beneath the waves. Not gradually, not over centuries, but almost instantly. Imagine standing atop the walls of Atlantis. Towering temples collapse into canals. Ships are hurled onto rooftops by enormous waves. The horizon disappears behind ash, smoke, and darkness. Then, silence. By sunrise, the empire was gone. According to Plato, all that remained was an impassable sea filled with mud and debris, making the region impossible for sailors to cross. It is one of history's most unforgettable endings. But did any event in the ancient world resemble this catastrophe? For nearly 2,000 years, no one seriously searched for Atlantis. Most scholars believe Plato had simply written a philosophical lesson. Then, something changed. During the 19th century, archaeologists began uncovering civilizations once thought to be myths. Ancient cities emerged from deserts. Hidden temples appeared beneath jungle canopies. Forgotten kingdoms suddenly became historical fact. If Troy could be real, why not Atlantis? The search was reborn. In 1873, German businessman Heinrich Schliemann made one of archaeology's greatest discoveries. He uncovered the ancient city of Troy. For centuries, many believed Troy existed only in Homer's poetry. Schliemann proved otherwise. The discovery shocked the academic world. A city once dismissed as legend was suddenly real. Almost overnight, Atlantis believers found new hope. Perhaps Plato's lost civilization was waiting to be discovered too. Today, one theory stands above all others, not because it proves Atlantis existed, but because it explains how the legend may have begun. It starts on a small volcanic island in the Aegean Sea, Santorini, known in ancient times as Thera, more than 3,600 years ago. This peaceful island experienced one of the largest volcanic eruptions in recorded human history. The explosion was so powerful, it could be heard hundreds of miles away. Ash darkened the sky. Entire coastlines disappeared beneath towering tsunamis, and one remarkable civilization stood directly in its path. The people living nearby were known as the Minoans. Long before classical Greece, the Minoans built advanced cities filled with running water, colorful frescoes, multi-story buildings, and thriving ports connected by powerful trade networks across the Mediterranean. Their civilization was astonishingly sophisticated. When archaeologists uncovered the palace at Knossos, many were amazed by how advanced these people had become. Some researchers couldn't help but notice the similarities. A wealthy maritime empire, magnificent architecture, a devastating natural disaster. Could memories of the Minoans have slowly transformed into Atlantis? When Thera erupted, the Mediterranean changed forever. The explosion blasted enormous quantities of ash high into the atmosphere. Pyroclastic flows raced across the island. Then came the sea and entire settlements. Although the Minoan civilization survived the initial eruption, many historians believe the disaster permanently weakened its economy and naval power. Over time, its dominance faded. To later generations, the memory of that catastrophe may have become something even larger: the legend of Atlantis. There's just one problem: the dates don't match. Plato claimed Atlantis disappeared approximately 9,000 years before his own lifetime. The eruption of Thera occurred only about 1,200 years before Plato. That's a difference of nearly 8,000 years. Could Plato have misunderstood Egyptian numbers? Could translators have made mistakes? Or was Atlantis something entirely different? For every answer researchers discover, another question appears. And that's exactly what makes this case so difficult to close. For more than a century, Santorini has remained the strongest scientific explanation for the Atlantis legend. But it isn't the only one. In the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean, the Sahara Desert, and even beneath Antarctic ice. Some of these theories are fascinating, others border on unbelievable. But before we can separate fact from fantasy, we have to examine the evidence. Imagine someone handed you Plato's description today, but never mentioned the name Atlantis, a large island beyond the Pillars of Hercules, a wealthy maritime civilization destroyed by a sudden catastrophe. Where would you begin looking? That simple question has driven explorers for centuries. Thousands of expeditions, millions of dollars, countless books, all searching for a civilization that may never have existed. And yet, the search continues. Not because we know where Atlantis is. One of the most unusual candidates isn't underwater at all. Deep within the Sahara Desert lies an astonishing geological formation known as the Richat Structure. often called the Eye of the Sahara, from the ground. It appears almost ordinary, but from space, it resembles an enormous series of concentric rings, nearly 30 miles across. To some researchers, those rings look remarkably similar to Plato's description of Atlantis. Mountains lie to the north, open plains stretch to the south. An ancient river system once flowed nearby. Supporters argue that thousands of years ago, the region may have looked dramatically different. Could Atlantis have been buried by time instead of water? But because we don't. Geologists, however, offer a very different explanation. The Richat Structure wasn't built by humans. It wasn't created by a meteor impact. It wasn't a lost city. Instead, it formed naturally over millions of years through uplift, erosion, and the gradual wearing away of ancient rock layers. No temples have been discovered, no massive walls, no inscriptions, no evidence of a civilization matching Plato's account. Could future discoveries change that? Perhaps. But today, most scientists consider the Richat Structure an extraordinary natural formation. Not Atlantis. Then there is the Bimini Road, just off the coast of the Bahamas. Divers discovered hundreds of enormous limestone blocks resting beneath shallow water. At first glance, the stones appear almost perfectly arranged, like the remains of an ancient road or a collapsed seawall. Some immediately declared Atlantis had finally been found. The photographs spread around the world. Excitement exploded. But once again, scientists urge caution. Marine geologists believe the Bimini stones formed naturally. Over thousands of years, beach rock fractured into remarkably straight blocks before becoming submerged as sea levels slowly rose. It's an explanation supported by decades of research. Yet many visitors still find the formations difficult to dismiss. The stones seem almost intentional, almost engineered. Our brains are remarkably good at recognizing patterns. Sometimes, even when no pattern truly exists. Perhaps that's one reason Atlantis has remained so convincing. We desperately want scattered clues to become one complete story. Today, the search has entered a new era. Every satellite image, every sonar scan, every strange shape beneath the ocean can circle the globe within hours. Social media has discovered Atlantis hundreds of times. Perfect circles, straight lines, gigantic pyramids. Most eventually proved to be optical illusions, image processing artifacts, or ordinary geology viewed from an unusual angle. But every viral discovery reminds us of something important. Perhaps the greatest mystery isn't where Atlantis is. Perhaps it's why nearly every generation becomes convinced it has finally found it. Maybe Atlantis survives because it represents something larger than archaeology. The hope that history still holds extraordinary surprises. That somewhere beyond the edge of accepted knowledge, a discovery waits, capable of changing everything we think we know. And history has taught us never to underestimate what remains hidden. People haven't stopped believing. They've simply found new tools to continue the search. The evidence raises more questions than answers. But one final question remains. What if Atlantis was never meant to be found because it was never one place? Welcome to the Atlas Files. As one file closes, another begins to glow. Case file 004. The Voynich manuscript, a book written in a language no one has ever been able to read. More than 600 years after it was created, its secrets remain locked inside pages that no one on Earth can decipher. Until next time, keep questioning everything, because the truth is often stranger than fiction. This is Atlas Files.